Welcome back to the show, Fight Fans, California Sober Podcast. And today you're watching or listening the final fight breakdown of the year and the final UFC card on ESPN and allegedly pay-per-view. I don't know, because Dana White's hot back and forth. You know, he said he might still do super fights. 25 pure freaking chaos. Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili 2. Man, some crazy moments last night. Some crazy moments last night. One thing I'd also like to say, finally saw a cute looking ring girl. For some reason, the UFC has always had some very vanilla ring girls. Tonight, they had a little flavor. I don't know what she was. She looked like she was black. She had a little body on her, a little thotty. But anyways, let's get into it. The first fight I want to talk about also, just want to actually, before I even get into the card, man, how's everyone doing, man? We made it another year. We made it 2025. We made it over the hump, bro. We made it over the year. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm a little high already. And I just want to thank whoever's watching and whoever's been supporting. You know, just keep, bro. Anyways, back to the show. A fight I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna just kind of brush up on it. I don't want to get too in details. I kind of had the habit of making this not 30 minutes, and I just want to fucking make this 30 minutes, bro. 20 to 30 minutes. We're gonna shoot from the hip. But yeah, this one fight I want to talk about: Baranovski and Abel Aslan. Not sure if I'm pronouncing their names right. Aslan versus Baranovski. Can't pronounce that. Goddamn, this fight was a banger. Some back and forth. It literally, like, from when the bell rang and they started to when the bell ended off the KO, it was just pure chaos. At the beginning, Aslan, he was getting the best of Baranovski. Then at the end, Baranovski would come back. Then Islam would come back. Baranovski would eventually ended up getting the knockout. I don't remember if it was Joe Rogan or Daniel Cormier, but they were basically like, this is a bar fight in MMA or with technique. There was definitely a little bit of technique, but it was more on the bar fight. I'm going to include a clip here. Totally worth a watch. If you guys don't know who these guys are, I didn't know who they are. Go follow them. Go check them out. Show some love, because, man, that fight was... that was a great fight, and I'm sure that took some miles off of that added some miles onto the car right there, man. Let me tell you something. But yeah, great fight. Go watch it. Next fight I'm gonna bring up is Edson Barbosa versus Jalen Turner. Man, Barbosa is like he was one of my favorite fighters for a while, just because of the kicking. You know me, I love to kick. That switch kick he throws. It's so fast. I actually kind of copied the way he does it, because I don't really like to throw switch kicks in general, but when I do throw a switch kick, I'm going to throw it the Barbosa way. I just personally don't like switching because I feel like it takes a lot of time. You do get a lot of power by getting that bounce, you know. But me, I prefer to kind of just throw it like Taekwondo way, but then I just hit with the shin, which is just kind of like where you just keep your front foot ahead of you and you just use your hip to kind of whip it. You know what I mean? If I want like a power left kick, I'll just switch stance into my southpaw and then shoot it. But that's just me. But anyways, Barbosa, the way he does it, if you watch his switch kicks, the way he sets it up is he'll put his weight forward. And so when he actually does the switch, it's really his back leg is coming forward instead of his forward leg comes backwards. So he slides his back foot forward, and then he gets into that switch stance, and then he'll shoot his left foot out and like use it to kind of rocket it forward. If you watch it, when he does it, he'll be hunched forward and he'll be leaning, like he'll literally pull himself into the kick forward. But what it does when you do that is it allows the kick to be just so much faster without sacrificing too much speed, right? It's coming forward with the switch kick instead of like off to the side, backward, or stay in the same place. You know, ideally, usually when people switch kick, they're kind of like in the same place. They don't move their feet too much. So you know that's a good technique for when you're trying to throw a left kick and you're tight. You just switch. But anyways, so I do it that way now if I'm going to switch every single time pretty much, unless I do it the other way. But anyways, yeah, so he's fighting Jalen Turner. This was a lightweight bout. Jalen Turner, this guy, he took some time off. He said he was going to retire, and this was his first fight back. Barbosa, he's coming in with a 24-13 record. Crazy veteran. Aging, though, chin, not so good anymore. pretty much gets when he can't fight his way through anything anymore. Honestly, when he's in the pocket, if there's a lot of pressure, then he's gonna fold. It just, I don't know. It is what it is. Jalen Turner, he's coming in with a 14-9 record. Like I said, he came back from retirement. Dude, Jalen Turner looked huge in there. He looked so big against Barbosa. Barbosa, he should have used a lot of more angles. He kind of like, just off the height difference, I was like, damn, you got to like use those angles, keep going to his backside and then finding your way in or something, you know what I mean? Attack that body and then come up top. But anyways, that's just what I would have done. Round one, Barbosa, very aggressive early on. He was landing, Turner, like early on in the round, like Barbosa's coming in, a lot of pressure hitting him. He's landing. Turner ends up throwing an elbow. And that's what I mean by the height difference. When Turner was so tall, he was able to throw his left elbow in. And he's like, Barbosa's like barely in punching range. And Turner is able to land that elbow. It's like, I came up from the top too and cut him open. Boom. Barbosa starts bleeding. He starts breathing heavy, starts backing up. Turner smells blood. The ref steps in and the fight is over, bro. That's basically, after a couple more exchanges, that's basically how it goes down. In my opinion, Barbosa should have attacked the legs more. He did create a lot of openings through his low kicks, and he did land a few low kicks, but I think he should have focused more on low kicks, focused more on body shots. Taller guys, I always like to use my front teep against taller guys. My longest tool, boom, boom, quick, easy. Just fuck back there, boom, boom. But yeah, Jalen Turner came in. He was a bigger guy. Turner was able to stay calm against the veteran. He made some good adjustments with that elbow. Because honestly, before that elbow happened, Turner was like, he was getting kind of like, I wouldn't say like manhandled or anything, but he was getting just swamped. He was just like a lot of was coming at him. But he stayed calm and he got the dub. So good on Jalen Turner. He gets the win against Barbosa, the switch kick and menace. He gets the decision against him. I think, should I light to that or should I keep going a little bit more? I feel like I should go a little more because once I smoke, I get high and I ramble, I slow down. It's like right now I'm not high, so I'm talking really fast and I'm going through stuff really quick. But then once I get high, it's like the opposite, and then I just go off topic. That's the main thing, is I go off topic. This is why I need a co-host. Keep me on topic, baby. But yeah, we wrote this. We got ourselves. I forgot what I put in here. What's on the table? What is it? Oh, yeah, the LA Pop Rocks, which we won a Cannabis Cup for, baby. Anyways, next fight, Marvin Vtori versus Bruno Ferreria. This was a middleweight bout. Marvin Vtori, last time I saw him fight, he lost. I can't remember who Marvin Vtori fought against, but he lost. He got knocked out or something, or maybe it was decision, but it was an absolute banger. Let me ask my assistant here. Who did Marvin Vtori fight before UFC 323?
Before UFC 323, Marvin Vtori fought Paulo Costa at USC Fight Night in September 2023. That was his most recent bout before the UFC 323 event.
Wait, was 323 the event that just happened?
Yes, exactly. UFC 323 was the most recent event as of now, and it happened in December 2025. So the fight with Paulo Costa was the one just before that event.
Dude, I can't even remember. What was that? What was the outcome of that fight?
Yeah, that fight between Marvin Vtori and Paulo Costa ended with Marvin Vtori securing a unanimous decision victory. It was a pretty competitive fight, but Vtori came out on top in the end.
Dude, I don't even remember that fight, bro. What the fuck? What happened, man? That's crazy. Well, okay, scratch that. Marvin Vtori, he fought Paulo Costa. He got the dub via unanimous decision. Bruno Ferreria, man, he's coming in. He's got some heat, dude. He hits hard, bro. He's a top contender in the middleweight division for sure. Vittori's coming in. He's got a 19-9 record. Ferreria has got a 14-2. Yeah, dude. One thing I did want to throw in there is Vtori. When he was fighting for Bruno, and kind of in general, when he fights, he stands straight up a lot, man. And I felt like in this fight, Bruno was able to expose that, because Vtori, I think he's just used to being so tall and he's hitting people and he'll just lean back and fade away, and because he's got that range, he can do that. And but then once he fights someone like Bruno Ferreira, he was taller than Bruno, but not by much. And the thing with Bruno is he was coming forward with a lot of combinations. And so he was able to expose like the hole in leaning back and kind of just long guarding out. It works for like a one strike, but then once you go like 2-3 and the guy's not that much shorter than you, then it becomes a problem, But yeah, Bruno, he looked very aggressive. He had Vtori backing up pretty much the entire fight. He was pretty much landing 3 shots for every 1 shot that Vtori threw. It was such a masterclass by Bruno. But the one thing, dude, Vittori's chin was holding out though because he was getting checked. And the thing is, Bruno was landing hard and he was landing more, but Vtori had more power, or at least when he would hit Bruno would back up more. Right, but Vtori just couldn't catch him, bro. And the thing is, he was waiting too much. He was waiting too much for Bruno to end his combinations, so Vtori could come back with his counter. And that I think that's what cost him the fight a lot, was that waiting and that leaning back a lot. Yeah, I don't know. The whole fight, I feel like Bruno pretty much dominated. Strike. He did great with the striking. The ground game was more. I think Vtori did better in the ground. Like his wrestling was better. I think in the round 2, I believe he did a little bit of wrestling and he just didn't go back to it. But Bruno Ferreira, he wins based off. He wins via unanimous decision. Good fight. Go check it out. I'm not sure who's next for Bruno. I'm curious now. Who's next for? Whoa, what's going on with my phone? Who's next for Bruno? This is middleweight, I think, right? Yeah, let's check out the middleweight division right now. Man, there was just some there were some crazy fights, man, on Saturday. Dude, the Pantoja fight, what a ending to that fight. The Merab fight, what a crazy upset. I mean, I gotta do a better job at describing stuff. So we got middleweight right here. Is Bruno even ranked, bro? Bruno's not even ranked. Well, he beat Marvin Vtori. All right. So Bruno just beat Marvin Vtori. He might be ranked like around 15 or something. This might move around. I'm down to watch Bruno fight Paulo or Cannonier. That'd be a good fight. I say let's give it to him. Bruno, let's freaking go. But yeah, on to the next fight I wanted to talk about. Faraz Zaim versus Nazim Sadikov. This is a lightweight bout, man. Sadikov, first of all, I just want to throw it out there. I've been watching him fight for a little bit, and this guy's good, bro. He's really good. I didn't know much about Faraz Zaim, but he was freaking tall as hell. Just let me get into it real quick. Sadikov, he's coming in at 11-0. He's undefeated. Zaim is coming in 17-3. Everything in my blood was saying Sadikov was gonna win. I think his last win he got was like a head kick or something. Let me ask my assistant, dude. Let's find this out. How did UFC fighter Sadikov win his last fight?
In his most recent fight on December 6, 2025 at UFC 323, Nazim Sadikov... Before his fight on December 6, 2025, Nazim Sadikov defeated Nicholas Mata on June 21st, 2025 at UFC on ABC 8. He won via technical knockout in the second round, and that performance earned him both the Performance of the Night and Fight of the Night bonuses.
Was it a head kick?
Yes, it was indeed a TKO victory. Sadikov secured the win with strikes in the second round, which really showcased his striking power and aggression.
But was it off of a head kick?
Yes, exactly. He actually landed a head kick that stunned Mata and then followed up with strikes to get the TKO. It was a pretty impressive finish.
There you go. Sadikov. Damn, dude. ChatGPT is getting so good, bro. This is crazy. Yeah, he won off that head kick and he looked like amazing. And in his last fights, he's amazing. He's looked amazing. He's undefeated. I didn't know much about Zaim, so I kind of just didn't really think much of it. But dude, Zaim dominated everywhere. Sadikov looked like an amateur. It was crazy. I was watching this like, dude, this kid is freaking something, bro. This kid's gonna be something. He's tall as hell too. But yeah, Zaim, he ends up ending the fight in round 2. They're in like a clench position. He was already smacking Sadikov up, dude, but they're in like a clench position and he literally just posted and just brought his elbow back. Bam, dropped it down on the side of his head. Sadikov drops, gets back to his feet, and Zaim just does the same exact thing. Long guard, frame, bah, another elbow drops him. Ref stops it. It was... Dude, impressive. Zaim, he gets another dub. That makes his record 18-3. I mean, dude, literally. Oh yeah, I forgot when Sadikov got knocked out. He got knocked out at the bell. Like literally, the bell rang, and he was all like, literally like on wobbly legs. Luckily, though, the ref stopped it. I didn't know if you could. I don't know like how the rules are, so I don't know if I've ever seen like someone get hit like that at that point in time exactly. But the ref stopped the fight. In my opinion, I thought it was a good stoppage. Sadikov didn't have anything for him. He was taking a lot of damage, and I don't think he could have continued the fight. He wouldn't have been able to protect himself. So I'll smoke to that one. Look at this ratty, baby. Bro, that Pantoja, what a ending to that fight, dude. What an ending. Joshua Van, baby, Southeast Asian. Let's go in the house. I don't know how he feels about winning it that way, but he won it. A win's a win, I guess, right? I mean, his paycheck just tripled. What's that guy's name? Nazim or Faraz Saim. Faraz Saim. Let's go. Some Arabs. I think they're like both Arab. There's like an Arab on Arab crime right there. Crazy. This next fight I'm going to talk about is Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. I'm going to just keep this one simple. There wasn't much to watch there. I'm sorry, Macy Barber, Karine. I'm sorry. Macy's coveted. She's 13-2. Silva's 19-4. I'm just going to stick to the interesting stuff. I believe in round 2 or 1, Macy, she ate an up kick to the jaw. Dude, you got to go rewatch this, dude. There's probably clips everywhere. So Macy Barber's on top of Karine Silva, and Karine Silva tries to kick her away, and she shoots an up kick to Macy's jaw while Macy's still on the ground, 4 feet on the ground, I believe still. 2 feet and 2 hands on, or something like that. Dude, Macy eats that up kick, and she literally wobbles. It was like a flash knockout. She didn't even know where she was at for a second. And the ref didn't even really notice the severity of what happened, bro. He gave Silva a warning. I think she should have got a point deduction because she got freaking worked. And the ref straight up went to Macy and told her it was just an up kick. It barely hit you. You're okay. Mother, what? Go watch the cameras. I think they have they have replays now, right? I think you should go watch the cameras, check it out. I think okay, you made a call, you saw something one way, you made a call, right? You got to go watch the cameras now. What the cameras show is what the decision should be, right? So once he saw that Macy got hit and she was stumbling, I would have been like, all right, my bad. First of all, apologize to you. I get it. I see why you're hurt. Second of all, Silva, that's a point deduction. But anyways, so she takes her, she takes her a couple minutes to recover. She resets. She takes Silva down, drops some elbows. She ends it around on pretty much on top of Silva, and the whole crowd is screaming USA, USA. I was shooting for her. I thought that this was gonna be some fucking incredible Rocky moment, dude, because she had the fire. She was dominating for that the whole rest of that round. I thought she was gonna freaking get the finish. She didn't get the finish. It kind of sucked. It was just a battle for the whole next round, and then she ended up getting the decision. There's a point in time where I thought, oh man, she might not even get the dub, but whatever. She got the dub, and I'm happy for her. So I'll keep it, straight to the point. Smoke weed every day. It's my birthday tomorrow, by the way, guys. I turned 35. Happy birthday, Mo. Following that bout, Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan, lightweight bout. McKinney coming in 17-6. Duncan coming in with a 13-2. Man, McKinney, he always comes out he fights like he's only planning on fighting one round, dude. He drops Duncan multiple times, dude. Duncan is like this. I don't even know who Duncan is. I've seen Terrence McKinney fight before, right? I think it's funny. Every time I read his name, it makes me I see his name, it makes me kind of chuckle because there's this other guy that has the same name, similar name. Anyways, I'm digress. But yeah, Chris Duncan, this British guy, dude, he got dropped freaking 4 or 5 times, dude. The fight looked like it was gonna end so many times, bro. The ref kept letting it go. I mean, dude, after we had that other banger card with those prelims and this, I was at the top of my feet, damn, these are some good fights, Duncan survives the storm, bro. Survives the storm, and boom, he ends up landing an elbow, dude. There's a sloppy going on, and Duncan, he ends up throwing an elbow. He drops McKinney, and he starts to ground and pound him. He's dead, bro. He's literally so he hits McKinney with the elbow. They're against the cage first moment, right? Kind of slunched over, and Duncan's punching him in the face, but they're these little they're arm punches. He's just too dead, bro. He's literally he's been getting beat up for a whole 2 minutes, dude. Literally just beat up, dude. So he can't get it, and he gets McKinney down. He's trying to get ground and pound, right, dude? It's all just heart, bro. Literally just all heart and will. No gas in the tank, no health. You probably concussed as hell. He's for sure can't remember who he is. He ends up switching to the Darce, which he recognizes I don't have it in me to finish this with strikes. So he ends up switching to a Darce, and he gets a submission, dude. Just absolute fireworks, bro. After the fight, crazy touching moment, dude. Duncan tells the story. He grabs Joe and he's like, I have a story for you, Joel. I don't know. I'm trying to speak. Let me try to talk like I'm British. I got a story for you, Joe. My first today marks the anniversary of my first MMA fight. 10 years ago, I don't know when he started, I'm gonna say 10 years ago. 10 years ago when I was 22, my mother was killed by her boyfriend. My mother was murdered by her boyfriend. I had to fight the next day. I still showed up to fight. That's hard. You can't train. I don't even know where my accent's going. But anyways, he tells a story about his mom being murdered by her boyfriend. She got murdered. He had to fight like the next day, I believe, and he still went and fought. Don't know if he won or lost. I think he probably lost because I think he would have said he won. Just touching story. He tells Joe, "I'd love to be on your show so I could talk about it." I hope he gets to go on the show. I'd like to hear more of the story. I'd like to hear more of the story. Super depressing. We could make a movie out of it. That's the type that pulls on my heartstrings, baby. That's what MMA is all about. Moving on to the main card. But yeah, we had Henry Cejudo. He was coming in. This was his retirement fight, his official retirement fight. If you guys don't know much about Henry Cejudo, this guy was kind of like for the longest time. He pretty much dominated the featherweight and the bantamweight division. He did his best work in the featherweight for sure. He became double champ, so that was impressive. He's like one of the first double champs, I think. But yeah, he became the double champ in bantamweight and in featherweight. He won Olympic gold. You know, he had crazy accolades, and he beat Demetrius Johnson. You know, he beat Demetrius Johnson when DJ was at the top. So this guy, he was for the longest time. But the thing that like he fucked up on is like he was at the top of his career, like literally becomes double champ, and then he freaking like basically announces his retirement. He's like, yeah, I did it all. I mean, it was all like bullshit, bro. From what I understand, it was a contract dispute with Dana. He felt like he deserved more money. Dana didn't feel like he deserved what he was asking. And so he basically just laid on the sidelines for like 3 years. I think that was the worst decision of his life. And I'll tell you why. After I drink some water. I think it was the worst decision of his life because those were his prime years, right? His stock was high, dude. He should have kept fighting and kept like getting endorsements. But his stock was high. He was right there at that point in time. He was like peak MMA fighter, and you know the iron was hot, baby, and he didn't strike. He took 3 years off. He came back, and now the game has changed, dude. So much like of the technique has changed. The fighters entering the space has changed. It's just a completely new thing. And on top of that, he's older now. He's not in his prime anymore, right? And on top of that, it's like people already forgot who the Henry Cejudo was, so he's not even making any money off this shit, you know what I mean? Or maybe he is, but not as much as he could be. So I think he fucked up with taking those 3 years off. So that was my rant. But anyway, so he's fighting Payne Talbot. This was a bantamweight fight. Payne Talbot, he is the rising star. He is kind of a weird guy, paints his nails, works the stripper pole. I don't know if he strips, but he works the stripper pole. Weird guy, but talented guy. Honestly, dog. He's a dog. Tall guy, super tall for the division. He likes to fight long, very quick, you know, snappy. But yeah, anyways, Henry Cejudo, he's coming in. He's got a 16-5 record. Talbot, he's coming in. He's got, where's Talbot, dude? I didn't write Talbot's record. Yeah, I didn't write it. Damn, I'll tell you right now. What was Payne Talbot's record before fighting Henry Cejudo? Like how they do noise now.
Before fighting Henry Cejudo, Payne Talbot had a record of 10 wins and 1 loss. His sole defeat was a unanimous decision loss to Raoni Barcelos in January 2025. Before that, he was undefeated, with notable wins including a quick knockout over Yanis Gamori. His performance against Cejudo definitely helped boost his reputation in the bantamweight division.
Yeah. So Talbot, you know, he's no slouch, but he's still coming up, bro. He's not like, he doesn't have the acolytes that Cejudo has. Interesting fact, though, they actually used to train together. Cejudo helped Payne Talbot out a lot when he first started his career. It was kind of a touching moment. But yes. So let's get into this. Yeah, honestly, it was a slaughter for Henry Cejudo. Oh, this is what, I don't like that she stays on and I have to manually turn it off. That bothers me. Don't do that. Don't be listening to me all the time.
No worries at all. I'm here whenever you need me, and I'm always happy.
Okay. Payne Talbot, like, dude, Cejudo, like I said, he's older. He had a rough weight cut, bro. That guy looked like he was dying. He made weight, but he looked like he was dying, bro. But yeah, Talbot, he just did good, bro. He beat him at everything imaginable. He mostly, like, it was the striking is where Talbot was doing his best work. He just stayed, like I said, he just stayed on the outside, and Cejudo being the shorter fighter, he had to work his way in. every time he tried to work his way in, he would just eat shots from Talbot. And Talbot is like comfortable like using angles and still attacking. So he'll off step, angle off, step backwards, and he'll throw a strike while he does that and then come forward. He's fast, dude. He was accurate, and he'd punish Cejudo every time Cejudo would try to come into the pocket. You could tell Cejudo worked a lot of low kicks, so that was smart of him. He landed a few of them, but I mean, dude, the low kicks really weren't working because Talbot was just fast. He was able to move out the way. He was switching stances. Cejudo would land a low kick and Payne would land like, a 2-3 hit combination. The size was crazy. Talbot was just so much bigger than him. He looked like he was like 2 weight classes above Henry Cejudo, right? And Cejudo couldn't take him down. Every takedown attempt got stuffed. Talbot was able to take Cejudo down twice. In the first round, he took him down. He smiled at the camera. Dude, like honestly, round 1, it was on. He gets the takedown. It was all Payne Talbot. Honestly, when Henry Cejudo walked back to his corner after the first round, he already looked like tired, bro. And walking back to his corner after round 2, he looked defeated, bro. Out in round 2, he took a lot of shots to his face, bro. Shots to his body. He tried to grapple with Talbot, and Talbot just like wouldn't allow him to take him down, wouldn't even allow him to get a dominant position, dude. At one point, I remember Cejudo got like some type of sweep, and Talbot just held on to like a wizard and got back to his feet quick. It was crazy, dude. Round 3, dude, Talbot's just picking apart Henry Cejudo, hitting his body a lot, dude. It was sad, but I mean, it wasn't sad, but it wasn't a lot to write about, dude. Cejudo though, he was a dog, bro, and he just kept coming forward. I'll give it to him. And in round 3, he was game, bro. He was like, he knew he was getting an ass whooping, and he was just marching to that ass whooping. I think it was. It showed a lot of heart, and I think it was good for Cejudo, because a lot of people, they don't like Cejudo. He from when he took off on the UFC for his first retirement, they just they thought it was corny. They think his antics were corny. He was like another Colby Covington. He was like another Colby Covington. You know what I mean? After this fight, people saw like how he was willing to go down on a shield like a warrior, and I think people were able to forget, bro. They forgot the old Henry Cejudo, and they saw Henry Cejudo for who he was, a fighter, a champion, and so I think there's no better way to go down, even though he got beat up. And I freaking hate when they do that. I hate when they feed the veterans to the up and coming wolves, but it happens, dude. It happens, and it is what it is. Usually the veterans lose. That's usually how it goes down. Anyways, so allegedly they got a 50K bonus. So that was pretty cool. Or Henry Cejudo's getting it. Yeah, next fight. This was a fight that I was super excited for. The Tatsuro Tara versus Brandon Moreno. Both fighters I really like a lot. Tatsuro, Japanese fighter. He's got that Japanese kickboxing style, but he's a heavy grappler. Prefers the jiu-jitsu. Brandon Moreno, everyone knows Brandon Moreno, man, former champion, super heavy boxer, super good jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. Brandon Moreno, the nicest fighter you'll probably ever meet, probably autistic. On the spectrum, gives you powers for sure. But yeah, this is a flyweight bout. Moreno's coming in. He's got a 23-7 record. Tara's coming in with a 16-1. Random fact that I saw someone post online, and I did take this into consideration when watching this fight. Tara has never lost to a Mexican, and he's KO'd every Mexican that he has ever fought. Think about that stat. How did someone even get this? Don't even know. Tara literally is about to get recruited by ICE because he won his fight against Brandon Moreno. Bro, the first round, bro, Moreno was doing so good. He was fast. He locked in a triangle like at the halfway through the first round, and like he basically was just kind of like in control. He didn't really get it, and at the end, Tara was able to pull out of it. But like he just was showing his dominance in the grappling side and just showing his dominance overall as a fighter. Round 2, Tara body locks Brandon Moreno like early on in the round. He does like a hip slam, takes him to the ground, takes his back, drops down and starts ground and pounding him, and the ref ends up stopping. Moreno like puts his hand down, tries to get up, and then like kind of falls over, then puts his hand down, try to get up, and then kind of like he's stuck there. The ref ends the fight and gives it to Tara. I think he could have gone on a little bit longer. He was taking some damage. He took a lot of shots for sure, but it's Brandon Moreno, and I think we could have gave it a little bit more. but I'm not upset about it. But it's the first time Moreno's ever been stopped. That kind of sucks. Like I said, my man Tara will be working for ICE soon because he's like 4-0 against Mexicans right now. Pretty crazy stat. Interesting end to that bout. This sets up Tara. He's possibly gonna be the next. Probably gonna be the next contender for the belt. So obviously Alexandre Pantoja and Joshua Van. Tara was probably looking at this fight really hard, seeing who his next potential fight would be. So let's just segue into that. Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. This was a flyweight fight. Everyone was excited for this fight. Alexandre Pantoja, he's coming in 30-5 record. He has just been dominating the division. This was his fifth title defense, if I'm not mistaken. And every fight that he's had, all 5 defenses, nobody had a chance. It's like he dominated them. There's some fights he had where he didn't even look like he broke a sweat, man. Honestly, I'm not even joking. Joshua Van, he's coming in with a 15-2 record. He's the young cat. Joshua Van's like 10 years younger. He's like 24 years old. He comes from Myanmar. From what I understand, he was born in Myanmar and then he was raised out here. And I think he trains in Las Vegas. He has good hands, a good boxer. I haven't really seen his ground game too much. I think defensively he's pretty good, but primarily he gets the job done with his hands, boxing. If Joshua Van wins this fight, he will be the second youngest to have ever touched gold in the UFC, followed by the likes of John Jones. John Jones, I believe he got the title at 22. So think about that one. And he dominated. This fight was it was chaos. It was so much chaos at the beginning, but the ending was just left such a bad taste in my mouth. Right from the bell, Pantoja came out so aggressive. He's throwing punches, kicks, he's throwing knees, everything at Van. Van, honestly, I think for a second he kind of was surprised on how quickly the fight was turning into like a scrap, you know? I think he expected like a little bit more feeling out and probably like more working the outside, but not. Pantoja was every technique, punches, kicks, knees, elbows, you know. At one point, Pantoja, he goes for a head kick. And that's not to say that Van was getting just like mollywopped. He landed a few strikes. There was like 8 strikes that he threw. I'm not sure how many landed clean. But at one point, Pantoja, he goes to throw a head kick. I believe it's a right head kick. Van blocks the head kick and kind of pushes the leg off of him. As he pushes the leg off of him, Pantoja falls backwards. Right? He's falling backwards and he tries to catch himself with one arm, freaking snaps his arm like just above the elbow. They show the instant replay that freaking slides all weird and out and then comes back. It just was weird, dude. It looked bad. Fight is called immediately. Like literally Pantoja hits the canvas and he rolls over to his back and he kind of looks at Van with these eyes and he kind of waves the fight off, you know? Ref doesn't really catch it, but Van he sees something's up and he basically looks at the ref and the ref calls it. Good on Van for, you know, good sportsmanship and seeing something was up and not following up with any unnecessary strikes. Sad for Pantoja, man. What a sad way to end that reign, bro. Like I said, this was his 5th title defense, dude, fighting the best of the best in the flyweight division. It's just sad that it ended like that. I mean, it is what it is. Dana White had basically told him when it happened that he, you know, as soon as he's healed, he's up next for a title fight. I don't know how long it's going to take. I heard the UFC people talk about how it was like a fracture or something or sprain. To me, it looked like a complete break, but I guess we'll see. I'll follow up with that. I'll let you guys know, dude. I think it looked like a complete break though. Joshua Van becomes the youngest flyweight champion, first Asian born champion, first Asian born Asian American champion. Something I forgot how they worded that. Cool for him. I'm sure he's not happy with the way it ended, but I'm glad he got the belt. One of my brothers, you know, Asian brothers, Southeast Asia, Myanmar is right next to Vietnam. They don't get along, but it's all good. And this sets up like the next fight with Tara versus Joshua Van. They do this fight in Japan or they do this fight somewhere in Southeast Asia. The Philippines, they have that big ass fucking mall. What's that mall called? The Mall of Asia. If the UFC were to do a UFC at the Mall of Asia for Joshua Van versus Taro, dude, that would be so big, bro. There's never been a UFC in that part of the world, I don't think. The only thing is ticket sales, bro. They couldn't do like $700 tickets, bro. That people would not be down. I mean, I guess the other one they could do is they do it in Japan. They could do it at like Saitama Arena or something. That's a big arena. How much people fit in Saitama? How many people fit in Saitama Super Stadium in Japan?
The Saitama Super Arena in Japan can hold up to 37,000 people in its maximum stadium configuration. For more intimate events, the capacity ranges between about 19,000 and 22,500 spectators. It's quite a flexible venue.
There you go. 37,000 seats sold. Japanese love it. Run that on who they get their deal with? I can't remember. I'm spacing. Paramount. Bam. So that was crazy. What a crazy end to the fight, man. I'm so bummed. I really was excited for this fight. It started off so good. I was so sad. I'm sad for man Pantoja, and I'm sad for my man, Joshua Van, because I feel like that's not like the way he should have got the belt, and I know he feels that way. It's like, it is what it is. But like I said, we'll get that fight with Taru, and that'll be cool. So this next fight, the main event, this was the card I was most excited about. Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. I'm just going to call him Merab. Sorry, guys. Petr Yan. This is the rematch. The first fight between Merab and Petr was absolute freaking banger. Petr got pretty much manhandled like every round, but he did good though. He did good, better than a lot of people. Defended a shitload of takedowns. I think he defended like 38 takedowns. He got like a few sweeps on his own. The thing that kind of he wasn't able to match the pressure and the cardio, dude. That's where Merab started coming away, was the cardio, bro. When Petr Yan started getting tired, Merab was just beginning. So that was something that Petr Yan had to work on. And the takedown defense, even though he was able to stuff 38 of them, you can't get taken down once, because once you get taken down, it's so hard to get back up. Or the other thing is getting back to your feet. If you're gonna get taken down, you better be good at getting to your feet. And Petr Yan, he's been working all that. He's been working his takedown defense. He's been working his getting back to his feet, his cardio, and it showed, man. What a freaking performance from Petr Yan. This was a bantamweight rematch. Merab 21-4, Yan 18, coming in at 18-5. Merab just dominating.
It's always fascinating to see how both fighters evolve, especially in rematches. It's great.
I think that she does this. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, she does have a point. Yeah, watching how they evolve, that was what made me more excited, because like I said, you saw Petr Yan improving his grappling, improving his cardio over many fights, after his loss. And Merab too, you saw him improve his boxing, dude. His boxing got so much better when he fought Umar Nurmagomedov. I was like, damn, this is Merab with good hands, dude. This is crazy. And then he fought freaking O'Malley, and then he fought freaking Sadhagen, and just was using just good boxing, man. But yeah, this fight, you really saw freaking Petr Yan, just the improvements he made on his gas tank, dude. He was able to fight all 5 rounds and fight effectively. Obviously, they're like round 4, round 5, he was tired. He couldn't throw as many combinations, but he focused on his takedown defense and getting back to his feet. When he became super tired, even to the point where his hands were down, he was only throwing one combination. Sometimes he couldn't even like move out the way or block punches. You just eat them, towards the end of the round. I'm speaking, no matter what, the second Merab went for a takedown, he would fight the arms and get back to his feet. If he got taken down, he would get back to his feet. If he didn't get taken down, he'd be fighting the arms and trying to basically like reverse the position, Does not matter how tired he was, he would always be ready for the grappling exchanges. Merab, I didn't give any round to Merab, dude. I know he got 2 rounds, but I don't really give him any round. I just don't. Petr Yan pretty much, he dominated. He didn't like it. Yeah, he pretty much dominated, bro. He beat the crap out of Merab for 5 rounds. It was crazy. Merab's face was battered. Merab couldn't work ground game. He couldn't outstrike him. And at the first round, you saw Merab with his improvements in his boxing, his head movements, his combinations, After the first round, Merab went back to just throwing wildly and fighting sloppy, with his hands, specifically with his striking, because it wasn't working anymore. And Merab, it's like you can use all the new techniques with his hands so long as he has the grappling to back him up in case it gets messy, right? Well, once he doesn't have the grappling to protect him anymore, it's like then he can't really use his hands as effectively, you know what I mean? Because now his opponent is like, the hands only work because the opponent's worried. They don't only work, but they help when the opponent's just scared of the takedown. You know what I'm saying? Petr Yan defended so many takedowns. He attacked freaking Merab's body like early on, and that paid dividends too. There was like, I think in round 2 or 3, Petr Yan throws a switch kick, or no, it wasn't a switch kick. He was in the southpaw position, and he throws a left body kick to Merab's body, and Merab screams in pain. He's like, ah, and starts backing up. Dude, Yan got like 4 more screams that night from body shots, like a body punch and a couple kicks and stuff. It was crazy, dude. Once he got that liver and Merab backed up off like 2nd or 3rd round, I was kind of like, all right, this fight is Yan's, bro. That's because now no matter what, you can just go back to that rib or that liver, whatever you hurt, you know, and you'll be all right. But Merab still shot, dude. No matter how bad he was hurt, he was shooting nonstop, bro. But Yan, like literally, he probably defended another 30-something takedowns, bro. You know, punishing him, dude. Every time he's coming in, just punishing him too. You know, round 4 and 5, you know, every body shot that Petr Yan landed made Merab scream. I'm not even joking, dude. In like round 5, Yan got like a second win, and he just started landing. He started landing head kicks in that 5th round. He was tired, but he knew he was winning, and he was like trying to go for the kill. That's the other thing I will want to mention is Merab at the beginning was trying to go for the kill too much against Petr Yan. Like he straight up said, I want to be the first one to finish Petr Yan. And I guarantee you he was thinking, I'm going to finish him with boxing. I'm going to knock him out, you know what I mean, or TKO him. And he paid for that. He came in hot. He ate a lot of shots to his body early on, shots to the leg. He would throw his combinations and maybe tag Yan once or twice, but Yan's counter would be like quick and fast, and it would stop Merab. It was like, you can't just recklessly come in on someone like Petr Yan. Petr Yan is just too clean with the striking, you know? Anyways, Petr Yan, he gets the decision. I think two judges scored it 49-46 in his favor. It was just, it was an incredible performance by Petr Yan. He really solved like the puzzle of Merab Dvalishvili, you know, the body shots, dude. That's what I always say, bro. Whenever you fight someone that's got better conditioning than you got to attack the body early on. Attack the body or attack the legs, because that's going to pay dividends in the end, dude. If you can't match their cardio when you're at 100%, you're not going to match their cardio when your tank is like 50-40%. So you got to chip away at that body and then start going for the head, you know. Go for that body first, you know. But yeah, it was a brilliant game plan, man. So Petr Yan once again touches gold. Petr Yan, he has now defeated Aljamain. Did not defeat Aljamain Sterling, actually. He lost twice to Aljo, even though the first time he should have won. But Petr Yan, he now avenges his loss to Merab's teammate Aljamain by taking the belt from his friend. Magnificent performance. I think Merab gets the rematch. I honestly still think Merab can beat Yan again. It was a tough fight for Yan. I don't know if he can keep that up, dude. The conditioning required for all that, it just was that crazy, bro. So we'll see if he can keep it up, because he was motivated for this fight, bro, because he hated Merab, bro. He hated Merab. He's Russian. Russians get their power from their freaking hate, and that's what fueled him. He no longer has that hate. Now he's gonna be confident because he won, you know. So we'll see how that rematch goes. I don't know. I might give it some Merab, but who knows? Maybe this is Petr Yan's time to shine. But yeah, UFC 323 capped off, man. Ended the year perfectly. You know, a couple fighters retired, a lot of heartbreak, new blood, a lot of broken bones, man, and all the crazy finishes. This was the last card on ESPN and the last pay-per-view we'll see for a while. ESPN's probably gone for at least 5 years. Not sure what's going on with the pay-per-view model, but allegedly they're going to just do it on Paramount, so for the most part. So yeah, like, follow, subscribe, check out some of my other videos. I don't know how much more I'll be posting till the end of the year. Got a lot of stuff going on, but if you don't hear from me, then Merry effing Christmas, Happy New effing Year. And as always, go do some stuff with your life. Goodbye.